right, everybody. Welcome back to the Dane and Wayne show.
What's
Uh,
going on, Wayne? How you doing this evening?
Doing pretty well. My voice has been better, but we're soldiering on. It's a big week,
Uh-oh. Did
really
you,
big week. We can't skip. So yeah,
did you catch that northeast flu that's floating around up here?
something.
What do you got? The
Um,
sore throat, the scratchy throat,
yeah,
headaches? Oh, all right. All
but
right.
yeah, we're doing okay. We're fighting through it, and just like Quinion, just like Jalen Hurts, we're gonna fight
Main
through the
thing, the main
injuries.
thing.
Keep the main thing the main thing. Rain, sleet, snow, Eagles ready to go.
We ready to go. We ready to go for this show. That's what I want to hear. What
Uh,
episode are we on, Wayne?
17.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're obviously a huge week, humongous week.
Championship week.
How are you feeling going into this game?
How am I feeling? I feel super excited. I feel that the Eagles are blessed in another position to, take opportunity to win another NFC championship and go to a Super Bowl. Is how I really feel. The energy around the city. I mean, I've been talking back and forth with you all week. Is heavy on the negative side. But how do you feel about this week and what the Eagles got on the table?
Mm, But through the game, and knowing they obviously had a home game, and Washington has been on this magical run with Jayden Daniels, but if not for Jalen getting hurt in that second game in that Week 16 game, they probably would have won that game. And there were just so many things that went wrong, and every single one of them had to go right for Washington to win. So, I was feeling good, and then you just start hearing the media talk and whatnot, and reading stuff, and the Jaden Daniels bandwagon is
Jayden
at
Daniels hype train
its capacity.
is
Yeah.
here.
So
It's
yeah.
here. Which
No.
I'm not going to discredit his skill set. I mean, you talked about his skill set back in September when I was kind of like, should we be worried about Washington? And you were like, I think you should be concerned about Washington and this kid, Jayden Daniels. You said that, so it's playing out.
It's aging real well, real well. Way than I wish it would. I wish I would have been wrong. I mean, he had the lull in the middle of the season with his rib injury, but I
Nah,
mean, ever since he's been healthy from that,
he's bounced back from that and he's looked clean and he's not turning the ball over, you know?
yeah,
So, but
exactly. Yeah, so you know, I'm still feeling good. Obviously about the home game, being at home with this crowd, and I just feel like that's obviously an advantage. But you just never know. You never know with these games. Something weird could happen. That's the beauty and
the
the craziness
curse.
of the NFL. Yeah, the NFL is just any
And
given Sunday, and
anything could play out. No, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, from last Sunday, if we saw like the weather elements, which we talked about right when on Sunday when you knew it was going to snow, and that played a factor into the game because the Rams couldn't really slow 26 down. They ran left, ran right, pretty much did anything they wanted to do. So hopefully this Sunday though, there's no weather in the forecast. So how do you feel they performed this Sunday? Do you want to talk about last Sunday? Where do you want to start?
Sundays, the weather obviously had a big factor in, I think, the offensive line play. They didn't play that well. They gave up 7 sacks. Jalen obviously had a little bit to do with that, with holding onto the ball, not really having his situational awareness, the way it should have been. Maybe thinking he could escape when the weather maybe, or his injury or whatever it was keeping him from being able to do that. It was tough, and you really don't know whether and then there's those things that went against them. The AJ Brown drop, the one.
All right.
Um,
I was gonna just bring that up. I was like, because I've all week I've heard the argument of it's almost like he did he didn't do anything right in the game. Is almost like the argument you're hearing this week when, like you said, you referenced, AJ Brown dropped, a pass in the end zone that hit him in the hands. He did audible in the 2 run plays that got, Saquon Barkley 2 touchdowns. So how is it that the narrative out there this week, right before a championship game, is so negative? You know?
because in it's funny. There, people are latching on to that 65 yards, net yards with the sacks and everything. And
Right.
nobody's talked about net yards all season. And then, of course, it's a 65 yards. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And people are freaking out. And yeah, obviously the passing game doesn't look good. It's not just his fault. It's a lot of the scheme isn't great. You look at some of the, like I think I said this last week. You look at the all 22 view, and like, where is he supposed to throw it? He's slow developing plays, 15 yards down the field, and he's already got guys in his face. Like, what's he supposed to do there?
No, he's gonna try to use his legs and get out of a situation. Is what he's gonna do.
Yeah, and that safety, obviously, they're talking about
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard. Ben Solak on Twitter, triple, quadruple circling Dallas Goddard wide open.
But
In the middle of the field.
can I ask a question though? In that moment, if he had tried to throw that ball, Wayne, somebody would have picked that ball off.
I think it was probably his last read. I don't
Right.
think, and I think he already had somebody in his lap at that point. I don't really
Okay.
fault him necessarily. I think that maybe it should have been a higher read, but within the play call, that's probably not his first read.
All right.
So I think people are unnecessarily dragging him a little bit. Yeah, did he have situational awareness in those 3 plays that caused the 2 sacks to pull him out of field goal range, and then the
Field
same?
goal range.
No, like, you should have figured out a way to throw it away or something, to not, because yeah, that cost them a lot of. Obviously, if you do the math there, it's 8 points. But yeah, going back to AJ Brown dropping it at the 1 yard line. You got the Mekhi Becton had his illegal man downfield,
Yeah, that
where
was a big play.
Dallas
That was a
Dallas
big
Goddard
play.
would have had the first down in the 3. Um, I mean, Saquon was like that close to getting that touchdown, the
That's true.
goal line. And they were short, and then Lane Johnson has the
False start.
penalty, false start penalty, brings them back to end up having to go for a field goal. Like, all those things compound to make it, you know, a game at the end. And all of the Negadelphians at the end of the game were like, "Here we go."
No,
Like, they were,
I mean, and I
yeah,
texted you that I started getting texts like that, like like maybe an hour and a half after the game, like, if we had this quarterback instead, can we, what would it look like? It wouldn't look any different. And is it going to look any different in the snow with a different quarterback? But I mean, I guess that's neither here nor there. That's a ridiculous comparison. They
yeah, it's one of those things that you don't know. As Tanner McKee looked good in an in rhythm, being able to get the ball out of his hands. Would that have worked in this situation? I don't know. Would Tanner McKee have run for 44-yard touchdown in the first
hell
one?
no,
No, would not. So, I mean, you take the good with the
absolutely
bad.
not.
I just fear that we're falling into this, Donovan McNabb
I
style
I
discourse.
I had that discussion with you on Sunday night, or at least a couple text message referencing exactly that point. And I referenced. Remember when McNabb used to wind up and throw that ball at the receiver's feet, and every single person in Philadelphia hated that. They're like, "Why can't you hit the man wide open?" And McNabb was like a totally different beast, a totally different animal, just because of how he was received in the city. And it was either you hate him or you love him. And I think with all Philadelphia athletes though, man. It's either that some get a little bit more of a pass, like a Chase Utley gets an ultimate pass, Allen Iverson gets an ultimate pass, Jason Kelsey, you know. But to me, Jalen just, I don't know. Do we want him to efficiently throw timely routes, anticipation? Is that Jalen's game though, Wayne? Okay.
Yeah. And Nick Saban said as much. I don't know if you saw him.
I
and I
I
guess it was on the Pat McAfee show,
yeah,
just talking about how he tried to force Jalen into more in
to
rhythm
stay in
throws,
the pocket.
stay in the pocket, throw in rhythm, and ultimately he probably just never did it, and that's why
No,
Tua took over, and then he ended up having to transfer to Oklahoma. So yeah, I that's just not his game. It was never Donovan's game, but they brought so much more with athleticism and whatnot, that you kind of took the good with the bad. I mean, over your left shoulder, Randall Cunningham, same thing. I remember, you know, growing up watching Randall. He had some spectacular plays, and he's had some really boneheaded, dumb plays.
dumb plays, holding on to
You
the
know,
ball, trying to make a play.
everybody's calling for the backup. They're calling for Jim McMahon, Bubby Brister,
Boy,
and
that man.
I don't know if Corey did he back up Randall? I don't know, but
I'll never forget. And I think I told you the story about the Monday night game that the guy when Tupu had to pick six and the guy's screaming, put Coy Detmer in. I'm like, what? Philadelphia is I don't
uh,
know. I don't know. I mean, but like you said, we've watched a lot of Philadelphia sports.
yeah,
So
obviously the 2022 offense with Shane Steichen, they
mhm,
were scheming guys open, and he was hitting them like the
in the
reads that he was supposed to get to. They were usually open. Yeah, I think he was good in that, and I really expected more. I expected more out of Kellen Moore, um,
right.
being able to scheme guys open, and it just feels like his reads just aren't always there. And then when they're not there, that's when he's not going to be the Peyton Manning who's going to be able to look at four different guys and real dish the ball out. That's
And
just
get the
not his
ball
game.
out to the flat or get it over
Yeah.
the middle. No, I hear
So
you.
the question becomes: is that what we're looking for in a $50 million a year player?
I
Uh,
mean, I saw somebody post something that $50 million a year is crazy for a Wildcat quarterback, and I like
but you also look at all the $50 million a year quarterbacks and which one's left. I mean,
is Jalen.
challenge. Yeah. So
Don't keep the
hey,
main thing the main
but
thing.
yeah, uh, yeah. I mean, it was it was crazy last week. The snow was fun to watch. It was a
Yeah, I
cool
agree.
atmosphere, but I don't think it served the Eagles all that well. I mean,
No, I
it made it. I don't know. It equalized. I think.
it did. It
You know,
absolutely it gave the Rams almost like a fair playing field, and that's weird to say with like a snow game because they don't play in the snow, but it looked like that one pass that Stafford had out the sideline to Nicole in the fourth quarter. Like, I mean, I could feel the anticipation in everybody. Like, my phone just started blowing up. Like, yo, are they gonna, blow this? And I looked at my wife and I was like, nah, the defense is gonna win the game, is what I said. And Carter had a big sack. Slay had a decent game. Bond played like, decent. The replacement for N'Kobe Dean, Burks, had a couple key deflections in key
he
spots
did.
you
Yeah.
know
Mhm.
so to me and for the coach after the game to be like, yo, I need that championship defense, in their like breakdown of the huddle, like that showed that they trust the defense, they trust the offense, and I feel like they're ready for Sunday no matter what's being said on the outside, you know so
Exactly. And that's what I keep coming back to. I no matter what the talking heads say and how much they're pumping up Washington, it's a fun story, of course, but this defense I think is going to step up, and you got Quinyon Mitchell coming back. I can't believe he's actually going to play. I thought for
mm,
sure when for in the into the locker room, I assumed he was going for X-rays. And I figured since he went in the locker room and they declared him out right away, I was like,
we're
"Gee,
like, oh, here we go.
he's done, done." But hey, I'm happy he's going to play. I'm a little concerned with Cam Jurgens and Dallas Goddard. They
With
didn't
the injury
practice
report
today,
this week, yeah. Well,
but they got tomorrow. Hopefully they practice. It's a little weird because Sirianni today said that they were both going to practice and then they didn't. So that was a little strange.
To me,
But
though, he might just be trying to get them off their feet and ready for Sunday, you know?
yeah, I
So
mean,
I don't think anybody's missing Sunday. Like if they got to like tape their knee on or ankle on, they're gonna play on Sunday. Will they be effective? Who knows? There's no elements. There's no inclement weather on Sunday.
yeah,
So I feel Saquon. Now let me ask you this question because I didn't think that Saquon would duplicate against the Rams what he did in the regular season. Does Saquon put him on his back with the Superman cape and take him to the Super Bowl? Or, you know what I mean? Is it gonna be because Washington, everybody knows Washington. Every time you play Washington, it's a dogfight. It's between like a 5 and 6 point game. You never know. Washington's never good. Even if a team's up 21 against Washington, you never feel like the game is like over.
right. They, they're going to do everything that they can to stop Saquon. They're going to try to make Jalen beat him through the
Beat
air.
him with his arm.
Yeah, but they've proven when the Rams tried it. They tried to stack the box and play single high safety, and that's when Saquon gets those huge runs because this offensive line is just too big, too big and too good and too athletic. It's amazing to watch them. I mean, they're all huge, but they're so athletic. They can get out on the edge. You watch Jordan Mailata on that quarterback keeper. When Hurts scored the 44-yard one,
Yeah.
he's got no one to block. Like
he
he's like
was
running ahead of him, but he's just
he
like
was
looking
just
around.
he was like, yo,
So,
can I hit somebody? Can I
so
hit somebody?
yeah, I do think they're gonna sell out to try to stop Saquon, but I don't know if it matters with this offensive line. I think they're just the run blocking has been so good, and yeah,
And I
the pass blocking has been so. But I think the elements had a little bit more to do with that.
No, I agree. And I think I saw like Washington's the defense right now is giving up the most yards that are left in the playoffs. So not that that's going to matter because I feel like I said to you, Washington is definitely buffing out their chests. Like, they're not scared. Now, like I said, no one expects anybody to be scared. You're playing a game and this is to go to the Super Bowl. But I feel like the Eagles have an advantage, and we've said it and discussed it all season that they have a clear, distinct advantage on the ground from what I see.
So
So,
how do you think they stop Jayden Daniels?
kind of what you brought up maybe like 3 weeks ago, where they, not do they play that like spy in the middle, even though you see that's the thing, because I feel like he is like slick where he moves up and out of harm's way. The only thing I've noticed with him though, when he's running, he's not looking to slide. Is what I've noticed. Like he's running just like running. Where when Jalen's running, Jalen's looking, and you see it in his mind when he's gonna not take that hit or slide. I don't see Jayden Daniels doing that. So Jalen Carter, I think will need to have a big game, and I think Bond should have a big game. But like I said, it's going to take all 11 of them to slow down Jayden Daniels, how hot he is right now.
Spy. I don't love those. I mean, maybe they will like here and there. They're not going to
Right.
spy him all game. Uh,
No, no, not all game. No, that
they
would
don't
be
have
insane.
Yeah, they don't have anybody fast enough,
That can
really.
even do
Yeah,
that. So,
and you watch, the Bills try to do that with Lamar, and you could tell he was just running by the spy. Uh,
right.
and I think Jaden Daniels would do the same thing. Um, I brought up a few weeks ago the mush rush that they did against Michael Vick
Michael Vick.
work, and I feel like in certain situations, I think that'll work. When he's back against the wall and third and long, and if he's looking to do something with his legs, mush rush. You stay in your lanes. You don't do any,
Don't,
pulling or pin and
don't
pull or whatever.
overcommit.
Yeah, you don't do any of that. Because I think I talked about this after the Week 16 game. That huge scramble on 4th and 11 that he had. Milton Williams just completely
Watch them.
vacated his line, or his lane, and tried a swim move, and Jaden
You,
ran right
you,
through that lane.
you went in, you watch him go right behind there, which he will do because he's smart enough. You know,
You got to stay in your lanes. They're early in the game, I feel like they're going to try these two main games up front with the Ettons and Jalen Carter or Sweat and Milton Williams. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I think in certain situations you're gonna want to rush, but not really rush,
No,
and try to
I
keep them
feel you.
contained.
I feel you, and I definitely agree with that mindset that they should take. I mean, I think Vic Fangio this week kind of gave him a compliment where he was like, "Yo, his birth certificate says this, but he doesn't. That's not what he looks like." And like I said, you started saying that in like week two, like, "Yo, look out for this Jayden Daniels," and it's playing out right in front of us. But he not winning this week.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem for the next few years, especially because he's still on a rookie contract for he's getting 5 years for first round picks. You get the 5th year option, so they're in a good spot, like a really good spot with him not making a ton of money, and they're able to boost their team elsewhere.
Right.
They're going to be a problem. So yeah, gotta take your opportunities where you get them, and this is a big one right here.
Nah, birds by 50. It means like take that back, yo. Don't say that. I'm joking. What?
One thing that I was, and you sent this to me.
What?
We didn't know if it was real or not, but the birds trying to sell snow from their
Yo, I
first
keep
game.
seeing that, and I wanted to throw that in the garbage. Yo, whoever put no, no,
Do not celebrate a divisional series win
no,
when you have
no.
the NFC Championship coming up.
I give
It's
that
like
four thumbs down.
it's like putting up a banner saying, "Oh, we won the divisional round."
That's
Like
the NBA Cup. I don't like. I don't want the NBA Cup.
the Colts saying, "Oh, we were AFC finalists."
I don't want the NBA Cup. All right, you can keep that trophy. Throw that in the trash.
Drove me crazy. I'm in a hotel traveling for work this week,
Like,
and
come
I was down
on.
getting breakfast. I was getting breakfast this morning, and it came on the news channel that was in the lobby.
Are you
Uh,
serious?
it was they were talking about it. They were talking about the Eagles telling no, and you should have seen like the people sitting there eating breakfast. They're like, "You gotta be kidding me!"
That's what I'm saying. That's garbage.
Um, so yeah,
Did
it's
did you
just
give him a go birds after that?
should have
you, were,
should have. I'm up
you were
in
like, hell
Giant
no.
country. Yeah, so yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird decision. I
Yeah,
I never would have okayed that.
no,
Yeah,
no. And Jeffrey and Howie, that we give that decision two thumbs down, man. Throw that one in the garbage, please. Control Alt Delete that one. But who do
so we're
you want to see?
good.
Who do
Yeah,
you want to
let's
see
go
them
to the unpack.
play? Because we've talked about the birds. We think what they're gonna do. Who do you want? Do you care?
Um, no, really. I
I
think
feel you.
both teams have their weaknesses. Um, you'd have the revenge factor with Kansas City. It would be a fun matchup with the Bills. Like I don't know if New Orleans has enough capacity for the Bills and Eagles fans that are going to
Yo,
descend.
my one of my friends texted me exactly what you just said. They were like, "Yo, I think they'd have to remake Bourbon Street."
The level of insanity that both these fan bases have is just
I don't even want to think
unmatched.
about that, yo.
So yeah, you might have to put a state of emergency for New Orleans or Louisiana.
Yo,
That would,
that's not a lie.
no.
it would be a party. I'll say that.
So yeah, I mean, Kansas City's been getting lucky with a lot of their games. They haven't scored 30 points this year. They've been forcing turnovers, which is good. They obviously did a lot of that last week versus Houston, um, and they're getting sacks against C.J. Stroud and
They
really
they got
having
like
him.
8 sacks in that game, man. They beat Stroud to a pulp pretty much.
Yeah,
So
they were moving the ball. Houston was moving the ball. They were getting into KC territory, just not coming away with any points, and it ended up costing them in the end. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Can I
you
ask a
got that.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you feel that Kansas City is getting, because the talk this week, and Mahomes even mentioned this, is are they getting favorable calls? Like from what you see from the refereeing in a KC game versus another
Just
quarterback.
everybody's hypersensitive
Right.
about it, but yes, I mean, I think he gets preferential treatment.
Okay.
He's looking for it. That's the
Well,
worst part is that
well,
he's like he had a perfect opportunity to go out of bounds, but
and
and
he's
he's looking around, he waits for it, and then he goes down and tries to bait the guy into hitting him.
into hitting them. I
It's
I
just
agree with that.
such
It
trash
looks
behavior. I hate that.
it looks it looks like a soccer player trying to flop on a foul, or like LeBron or somebody flopping in the paint, and you're like, yo, come on, man, just play ball.
And you got all these retired defenders. They're saying, "I will come out of retirement to put this guy into the ground. Like, put me in, coach. Give me a 10-day contract.
Let me
Get
let me hit him just once. Nah,
yes,
I feel you. Kansas City has kind of created their breaks, but seeing that last week was kind of annoying. But the Chiefs are the champions, so they are going to get the preferential calls. So we'll see. I think Buffalo's lost to them in this round or before, like each time they played them in the last 4 seasons or 3 years. So you could say Buffalo's due, but Kansas City's got a three-peat on their mind. So like what's going to give? You know.
exactly.
So
Their defense is playing really well. Um, and Drew just finds a way every time, and that that falling to the ground. He found Kelsey. I don't know how you leave Kelsey that wide open in the middle of the end zone, but hey, whatever. But yeah, the Bills defense not the greatest. They forced
nah.
a couple of turnovers. I think it was more of I think it was more Lamar Jackson throwing the ball
Mark,
away.
the first interception was bad. The first interception was bad, no matter which way you slice it. He even said that was a bad interception. And then I think the weather with him holding onto the ball and losing the ball caused the other one. But, to
Just
me,
brought
I
him
think
back. Dropped the ball away from a tie game. So
now if he hits Andrews, did that hit Andrews in his hand or did he throw that behind him? I'm just asking.
it was a backward catch, but still one that he would have made.
Make the
Usually,
catch. Make the
nine
catch.
times out of 10, he makes it.
I feel you. I feel you. So I want to see Kansas City though. I told you that because that's the only way I think the Chiefs don't three-peat. If it's anybody else, I don't think I think Kansas City beats anybody else.
In Washington. What you mean?
I think I think if
Because
Kansas City sees Washington, I think they beat Washington. But we'll see.
yeah, yeah. I like the Bills. Just like how they play. I like Josh Allen seems like a good guy and fun to watch. He scrambles a lot, and so I don't know. It's just a fun team to, especially with the fans and how crazy it is. And
Buffalo fans know how to get it in, and yeah, Buffalo knows how to throw down just like Philadelphia does. Um, but what else do you want to talk Sixers?
I don't. You can have a
No, I'm not gonna.
segment of
I'm not gonna talk Sixers. There's nothing to talk about the
nothing,
Sixers.
nothing to talk about besides Josh Harris being in the building on
Sixers.
Sunday. And
Breaking news: the Sixers are shutting down Joel Embiid for the season. Let me stop.
uh, it's,
So, but so yeah.
I got nothing for you there.
No, I'm not. That's what I said. We're not going to talk about the Sixers. Do we? Do you want to give me a score for Sunday? Do you want me to wrap it up? Oh wait, I got a hater this week. I got a
You
hater
do
this
it.
week. I
Go with
got it.
that.
I got one hater this week. My most valuable hater this week is Christopher Sims. Um, he came on TV and he did the Micah math, like he said. He was like, if you take away the Rams 4 possessions or take away these 3 runs, these 3 passes, the Rams are right in the game. That to me is just, I feel like Christopher is just hating. all the time on Jalen Hurts, and I don't know why. To me, if you're from the pedigree that your dad played in the NFL, you played in the NFL, you can be reasonable with your hate, but that's just next level hate. So Christopher Sims is my most valuable hater this week, and stop it. All right, knock it off. Go Birds.
For Sunday at 3. I mean, the 3 o'clock game is not as bad as an 8 o'clock game or 6 o'clock for this championship weekend, but it's still a long way. Like you wake up. I mean, we go to church, we come back, and we're just like
Yeah,
still 4 hours until the game. It takes
six
forever.
o'clock. 6 o'clock is way worse though. 6 o'clock is all day.
Agree. I agree. Like I said, I said 8, 6, whatever, 4:30. Those are still worse, but 3 is just you just want to get the game going.
You want to get moving. Now, you think people start showing up at the parking lot like the night before? Because
I saw some posting on Twitter about these Commanders fans are like, oh, we're gonna leave DC around 10 to get to the game and tailgate.
you're not gonna get the tailgate.
There at 1. It's gonna take you an hour to find a spot. You're gonna get parked by 2.
Yo,
And,
if you leave at 10, Wayne, you're not getting in that stadium. You're not.
oh,
I can tell them that.
yep. So it's just
So
hilarious how like the Eagles fans are going to be there at 5, 6 a.m. at the latest,
yeah,
and it's going to be nuts.
it's
So
gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a really, really fun environment. Like I said, no weather, good, nice football weather that they can just ball out. And I think the Eagles take care of business, is what I think, man. So go Birds. It was anything else you want to add? Anything you want to touch on this week?
I'm going
You go drink some honey,
to
get that sore throat under control, and go Birds. And we'll have some more content from you sometime this week before kickoff on Sunday.